You're not crazy for sensing something is about to break wide open. That unusual peace in the middle of your struggle. That strange confidence, even though nothing around you has changed. That's not random. That's spiritual confirmation. God is about to release unexpected wealth over His chosen ones, and this time it's coming without delay. This isn't just about money. This is about destiny, provision. Heaven is funding the mission, and your name is on the list. You've suffered in silence for too long. You've obeyed when it didn't make sense. You gave when you barely had enough. You trusted when the doors kept closing. And now the heavens are responding, not because you begged, but because you believed. Chosen one, your obedience has opened a vault. The delay is over. The wealth that was held up is being released, not later, not next year. Now you've always known you weren't called to struggle forever. That poverty mentality never fit your spirit. You've always felt like there was more, even when the enemy whispered lack into your mind. And now, God is stepping in, not just to pay your bills, but to overflow your purpose. What's coming is not a handout till it's a harvest, and it will arrive suddenly. That's why everything has felt so tight recently. The pressure increased, the warfare intensified. The spiritual attacks hit your finances, your emotions, your relationships, because hell knew what heaven had scheduled. And the enemy's last attempt to discourage you was proof that something massive was on the way, but he failed. You didn't quit, and now the release has been activated. Don't expect it to come the way you imagined. This is unexpected wealth, which means you won't see it coming. A forgotten seed is about to bloom. A conversation you didn't think mattered is about to turn into a contract. Someone who watched your struggle in silence is about to bless you publicly. You didn't chase it. You didn't manipulate it. You were just faithful, and heaven honors faithfulness. This isn't about greed. This is about grace. You can't fulfill a heavenly calling with earthly lack. God is not giving you wealth so you can boast. He's giving you wealth so you can build. There are missions inside you, visions that have been waiting for the right provision. And now, God is connecting the promise with the power to walk it out. Chosen one, the reason others overlooked you is because they couldn't see the inheritance attached to your name. But heaven did. And even when you thought you were broke, you were being backed by the throne. What's about to hit your life is not a payment, it's a recognition, a divine transfer. What was held up in the spirit is now flowing to you because the season has shifted. You're not being rewarded just for working hard. You're being rewarded because your heart stayed right in the storm. That's what wealth responds to in this hour. Not hustle holiness, not manipulation motives. You didn't scheme to get ahead. You served, you worshiped, you gave when it hurt. And now, heaven is about to return it, pressed down, shaken, together, and running over. Don't be surprised if the wealth comes through unlikely sources, a random inheritance, a business idea that suddenly goes viral, a stranger who invests in your vision. This is why you've been feeling spiritual acceleration, because the timeline just collapsed. The long route has been closed, and now you're being launched into overflow without the usual process. God doesn't need 10 years to change your life. He just needs one moment, and you're walking into that moment now, not because you demanded it, not because you're perfect, but because you are positioned. Chosen ones are being aligned right now with the resources of heaven. Angels are literally being dispatched with instructions tied to your name, and when they land, the blessing will be undeniable. There's a reason people walked away from you in the last season. They weren't assigned to witness your elevation. God had to isolate you, not to punish you, but to preserve you. Because had the wealth come sooner, it would have been contaminated. But now you're ready. Your character has caught up with your calling, and God can trust you with the kind of wealth that breaks chains, not just yours, but your bloodlines. Don't let the enemy trick you into shrinking back when the blessing starts flowing. You are not stealing, you are receiving. You are not forcing, you are favored. And if people accuse you of being too blessed, remind them that it was God who prepared the table, not you. You don't owe anyone an apology for the breakthrough you bled for. This blessing won't come with sorrow. It won't come with strings. It won't drain you emotionally. It will feel peaceful, flowing, effortless, because it's not from man. It's heaven authored. And when God writes the check, no devil can cancel it. Get ready for testimonies that don't make sense. You're going to look at your bank account and wonder how it happened. You'll walk into rooms you couldn't afford to enter before. You'll bless people who once looked down on you, and you'll build what God showed you in your wilderness seasons. Chosen one, this is your time. The enemy is panicking. The gates are opening. The supply is here. The only thing God needs now is your agreement. Say it out loud. I receive divine wealth. I walk in overflow. I am trusted with heaven's treasure, because this is not just a blessing. It's a shift, and it has already started. The reason it's coming so fast is because heaven is behind schedule, not you. There were delays that weren't your fault. There were spiritual battles you didn't even know about that kept what was yours suspended in the unseen realm. But now the resistance has broken. The war is over. The wealth is being released. Not to impress you, but to equip you. God doesn't bless chosen ones for comfort. He blesses them for kingdom movement. That's why it's coming when you're no longer desperate for it. He waited until your motives matured, until your hands weren't clenched in fear, but open in surrender. You finally reached the point where the blessing won't change your character, it'll amplify your purpose. And that is the moment God waits for. There are angels assigned right now to activate divine partnerships. You may get a phone call, a message, a strange opportunity, and it may look too big, too fast, too impossible. But don't reject it because of its size. You were trained for this, in silence, in fire, in seasons where it felt like nobody saw you. God saw everything. And this wealth isn't a bribe, it's a reward. Chosen one, you are entering your Joseph moment. Remember, Joseph didn't stay broke just because he was righteous. He went from the pit to the palace, and with that leap came authority, management, strategy, and abundance. Not because he chased riches, but because he carried a revelation. And you've been holding your revelation in the dark. Now God is shining a light on it. Don't worry about how you'll manage it. Heaven doesn't drop miracles without mentorship. You're going to be divinely guided into stewardship. Wisdom will come with the wealth. Discernment will rise with the deposits, and you'll know what to build, what to give, what to save, and what to plant. This wealth is coming with divine intelligence attached, but you must stay alert, because when unexpected wealth arrives, it also attracts unexpected watchers. People will show up with flattery, manipulation, and smiling faces. But you must test every spirit. Remember, you're not here to entertain leeches. You're here to establish legacy. Don't fund familiarity. Fund your future. Protect the blessing like it's sacred, because it is. You're going to be able to bless others, yes, but not out of guilt, out of guidance. Not every need is your assignment. Not every request is from God. You must learn how to say no to what heaven didn't approve, so you can say yes to the mission you were sent for. The wealth you receive is not just a blessing, it's a responsibility, and you were chosen because you can handle it. This is the wealth that sets you free from survival, from begging, from waiting on someone else to open the door. You will be the door. You'll look back on the seasons you cried over and realize none of it was wasted. Every broken moment, God is repaying it with interest. You're not just getting restoration, you're getting recompense. That's why the enemy tried to bury your confidence. If he could have made you believe you were unworthy, you would have rejected the blessing yourself. But it's too late now. You know who you are. You know whose you are. And that knowing has qualified you for this kind of abundance. Watch closely. Miracles will start small, but don't despise them. One sale, one seed, one breakthrough. That's how the flow begins. God is testing how you handle the little before he unlocks the flood. Praise him for the trickle and you'll see the downpour. Chosen one, this wealth isn't coming through corruption. It's coming through covenant. God is a multiplier. He doesn't need you to bend the rules or beg systems. He will cause systems to bend toward you, the same way he gave Israel land. They didn't build wells, they didn't dig, and vineyards they didn't plant. He will place unexpected increase into your hands, not because you're perfect, but because you're positioned. You didn't compromise. You didn't fold under pressure. You cried and still stood. You bled and still believed. And now the tables are turning, not in theory, not someday, but right now, in real time. This shift is permanent. It's not just a moment. It's a new era of wealth that doesn't come and go, abides. And with it, the anxiety you once lived with will die. The shame you wore like a second skin will fall off. You'll finally breathe again, not just physically, but spiritually. You're about to see the prophecy come alive. All the words spoken over your life, all the promises you journaled, cried over, fasted forth, they're unfolding now. You are walking in a season of visible blessing. People will look at you and see evidence. They won't understand how it happened so fast, but you will know it wasn't fast. It was finally. The years you thought were wasted are going to be repaid in months. The months of drought will be reversed in days, and when it hits, it will come with speed, momentum, glory, and peace. You will finally feel like you're not behind, because God is collapsing time for your sake. So prepare your spirit, make room, clean the inner house, break agreements with lack. Say out loud, I cancel the poverty mindset. I break ties with the spirit of limitation. I open myself fully to God's flow. Because this wealth is not the end, it's the beginning of building, of writing, of healing, of leading, of expanding territory, of touching nations, of setting people free. This is not a personal blessing. It's a generational earthquake, and it's hitting your bloodline through you. The wait is over. The heavens are open. The accounts are shifting. The angels are moving, and the chosen ones are being blessed beyond imagination. with unexpected wealth and without delay.